Hi, I'm Shannon Inagliata, National Sales Manager for Unico Incorporated.
Modular construction, HVAC systems, and sales. They all coordinate together with the Unico system. And when we're talking about those things, the most important part of it are reps and then the person that actually oversees them. Today I'm here with Shannon, and Shannon's going to kind of walk us through a little bit about not only sales, but also what does the integration look like from your perspective, being a manufacturer? How do you find your reps and the people that kind of support on the sales side?
Sure, absolutely. So we have 17 rep organizations in North America, includes Canada.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it's a lot of organizations. Most of them have been with us 20 plus years. We have 3 or 4 of them have been with us 30 plus years. I mean, these guys are dedicated to the system. They're dedicated to the process. They do such a wonderful job. And then within that, there's about 88 to 90 guys that cover the whole area, right?
Wow.
So, and what they do is they're sort of like the unsung heroes of Unico. You don't see what they do, but man, we sure cash those checks. It's great. They do a wonderful job. So they support our distributors, right? They make sure they have the right pricing, the right stock, the right inventory. They train, they go out and train. They also do AIA classes for our architect partners. They just do it all. When they get a new dealer, they make sure that they go out the first day of the job when that guy's installing. Hey, let's make sure you have the right material. Let's go over the outlet location, right? Where are you going to put the air handler? All of those things, condensing unit. And then typically they come back at the last day and they help commission the project.
Amazing.
So that's why we have so few problems out in the field. These guys are working tirelessly.
I love that. And I love that you have partners, right? Because when you're a manufacturer, materials and things out there. But the other thing that I think is so valuable, what you guys bring to the table, is not only the sales side, but also your sales program. What does that look like?
Our sales program?
Yeah.
Basically, we have a bunch of different things. It sort of depends on the distributor. And, some distributors need a lot of attention. Some don't need any attention.
Like anybody, right?
Yeah, so it's sort of a mixed bag. We really do it different probably than other people. We don't have like one program for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's important, right?
Yeah, it
because not everybody fits the need of one thing or the other.
Right.
What do you love about sales?
Oh man, just getting out and meeting people, and I do a lot of dinners, do a lot of entertaining.
You do.
I do quite a bit of that.
It does not seem like you at all.
Yeah. Thank God nobody looks at my expense reports. You don't want to see that. That little
there's
show.
Something about that, right? It's
Absolutely.
about connection, right? Being real.
I was out in the field for 26 years, 2 to 3 weeks out of every month.
That's
still
a lot.
travel. Yeah, that's a lot. Especially when my children were small, right?
Yeah.
But what that means is I have dealers, distributors. I know their families. I get invited to birthday parties, to anniversary parties, Christmas parties, all of those things, just because I never looked at myself as a sales manager. I just make sure people have what they need to succeed. And it's been successful so far, and I'm just going to keep doing that, right?
I think it's wonderful, and I think it's wonderful that you take the time to meet the people that work with you.
Oh, absolutely. You have to spend time with them.
You do.
Right? It's like a marriage, right? So you have to put in the time in order for it to be successful.
Yeah, and I think there's a give and take on both sides. So when we talk about the national side, don't you guys also have like a global arm to your business?
We do, actually. That's my brother Scott. He's our international sales manager. And he does a great job. So, I mean, he's expanded into Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. We have an order going out this week to Russia. We have another order going out next month to China, a very big order. We have a great partner who sells into China. So, we have those spots where we're growing into. We're going over to Israel to do a show over there. We have a gentleman by the name of Ryan Gelber who used to be this is a great story. So he used
I love
to be
it.
a
Tell me it.
contractor. In fact, he's been a Unico contractor for so long
Okay.
that when we first started, he was buying the product, him and his dad.
Okay.
And they bought direct, right? We sell through wholesale distribution, but he was a dealer. And then eventually he sold through dealers. But since 85, he's been buying and installing the system. So he sold his business and he stayed on. He was supposed to stay on for 2 years. After 2 months, he said, I can't do this anymore. I can't, I just don't want to do this anymore. Called me up and he said, I'm going to go to work for you in Florida. I said, absolutely, Brian. What do you need? He told me. And he has doubled sales down there in a year and a half. The guy is 75, works harder than anybody.
That's
Absolutely.
So wonderful.
Absolutely. He said, I'm only going to work for 5 more years. I said, great, man. That's awesome. But those are the types of people, people fall in love with our system.
Yeah.
They just do, whether you're a homeowner or a contractor or a distributor. We just get these people who are just, it's like a cult following. It really, and I think it's great. I don't quite understand it, but I think it's awesome, right? It's just fantastic.
Well, I think it comes from leadership. I think it comes from having an amazing product. I think it comes from support. How does it work with customer service? Is that a big principle for Unico?
Oh my goodness. So when I go out into the field and I meet with distributors, I meet with contractors, I don't get any complaints. Maybe I get a complaint because of something that I did, or quite frankly, or one of my reps did, somebody didn't like. But customer service is top tier, right? We have a distributor, a big distributor, national distributor here in the States. They're more than $1 billion. They have 300 branches out there.
Wow.
I mean, they are a great partner to us. The man that owns it is very generous with me with his time. But man, when I go in to meet these guys, the first thing I do is I get my report card, right? I mean, that's like the first thing. Sit in a room, they put it up on the screen. And we've never had less than a 97% success rate with them. And that's their report card to us.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Right.
That's got to make you feel good.
Oh, it makes me feel great. It aggravates me because they never give me 100 because they said, yeah, we're never giving anybody 100.
Well, like your brother just said, I have to tell you, I got to talk to Steve and we were talking about lean manufacturing. He told me, Audrey, I never give anybody 100. And you know why? Because I always want them to be better. I always want them to grow. I always want them to expand.
Oh, he's stingy. I don't believe that. I want the 100.
So 97. So you got 97,
Yeah.
and one day
Yeah.
you might actually get the 100. And then when that happens,
we're throwing a party. We're gonna have a party. You're gonna get a call. We're gonna go somewhere good. It'll be great.
I love it. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Right? And I love that you enjoy it. And your happiness and your enthusiasm, we need more of that.
Yeah, I think so. People need to be happy in their job. They need to be happy with what they're doing. Quite frankly, I'm like a 5 on the enthusiasm scale compared to my dad. If he was sitting here, it'd be a 3-hour interview. He'd just gush everything great about Unico. And he's just such an unbelievable cheerleader of the product. It's kind of fun to watch.
You know what? I would love just a few seconds, if you wouldn't mind, like maybe 2 minutes. Tell us a little bit about the Unico story with your dad. Like, how did this all start?
So my dad was a contractor for 32 years here in St. Louis, right?
Okay.
So he owned a company that was sort of a franchise within a group around the country. There was 27 of them. And in the early 80s, they were putting in probably 80% of the high velocity, right?
Okay.
14 of these 27. And the high velocity they were putting in at the time, that company was sold to another company. So my dad and these other guys went to them and said, hey, great, we need you to do these innovations. They said, yeah, we're absolutely not going to do that. That's just not what we do. They make a great product even today. They really do. It's a good competitor to us. But they wouldn't make any improvements. So my dad and these other guys started Unico. And over a period of about 5 or 6 years, my dad was running the company. I was working on the inside, supporting him. Then Steve came in, and then my other brothers came in, and we bought these gentlemen out, I think in 92 or 93, and we've owned the company ever since.
And it's 5 brothers, right? And what
Yes,
are all their
it's
names?
my
Because
brother.
I'm always trying to get the names right.
Sean, Scott, Steve, Stuart, and Shannon. So my mother, if she was going to discipline us, she'd start with Sean and keep going until she got to the one she was talking to. And she did that all the time. It was great. People were like, does she know your names? We were like, yeah, I think she does. It's
not only about customer service, it's all about family here
Absolutely.
at Unico.
We have a lot of families that work here at Unico. I mean, a lot. Um, People out on the floor, people in here. I mean, it's not just the Inagliata family, it's other families that work here. And it's really a lot of fun.
And that's the dirt on Offsite Dirt.